Lisa Jewell vuelve a las librerías de España con un nuevo thriller repleto de tensión y misterio. Aún siguen aquí es la secuela del bestseller Dentro de casa, una novela absorbente de traición y rendición familiar que ha arrasado entre los lectores de todo el mundo. Su publicación original fue muy aplaudida por la crítica y es que Aún siguen aquí lo tiene todo para atrapar a su público. Un crimen sin resolver a la orilla del río Támesis, un pasado oscuro y más secretos que nunca. El libro perfecto para las fans de Paula Hawkins. Hablamos con la autora.
The reader will find themselves rejoining the story of the family upstairs. Starts about 5 days after the family upstairs ends, and Henry has just found out where Finn is and wants to go and find Finn. Lucy thinks it's a really bad idea for Henry to go and find Finn and is very worried about what will happen when he gets there. But there's also a detective case unfurling in the background. There is a detective called Samuel Owusu who has just discovered a bag of bones on the banks of the River Thames. And if you've read the first book, you'll probably remember whose the bones are, who they belong to. But he needs to uncover the story of the house in Chelsea to find out. I had no intention of writing a sequel to The Family Upstairs. I like writing standalone novels. I like beginning a new world every time I open up a new document on my laptop to start a new book. I want that blank page and not to know what's going to be on the page until it's there. So I had no intention of writing a sequel, and the only reason why I wrote a sequel is because so many of my readers wrote to me to ask me for one, and I kind of caved in and gave in to the demand for it. So in this sequel, there are 4 main characters. We're revisiting Lucy, who is just finding her place back in the real world. She's got some money because they've sold the house in Chelsea, and she's looking to buy her forever home for her and her 2 children. And then Henry decides that he's going to go off and find Finn in Chicago. So Henry is one of our other main characters, and he's quite mad in this sequel. He's insane with obsessive longing and his need to find Finn. He's quite worrying. We're quite worried about Henry during this book. We've also got a new character called Rachel, who is the current wife of Michael, who Lucy killed in the first book. And I wanted to trace back her marriage with Michael and see if it was anything like the awful dysfunctional relationship that Lucy had with him. So we follow their relationship from the day they meet until the stories collide at the end. And the 4th character is DC Samuel Owusu, who's my very first literary detective. He works for the London Metropolitan Police Force, and he is charged with finding out who do these bones belong to and what's the story attached to this bag of bones. So uncovering the stories of the house. I really enjoyed writing this book, actually. It was really, really complicated, and I had so many balancing acts to perform because I had to write it as a standalone, so that if somebody walked into a bookshop and picked it up off the shelf and didn't know there was a first book, they could still enjoy it without having read the first book. So it was a very delicate balancing act of like how to give the new reader enough information to get them up to speed, but not overwhelm it or bog it down with too much backstory. I like books like mine. So I'm really unadventurous. I used to be a very adventurous reader when I was young. The more obscure or hard to find in a bookshop, the more I wanted to read it. And now I just like to read the books that are like mine. So I like to read all my contemporaries. I love Ruth Ware and Louise Candlish and Sabine Durrant and, I can't remember the names of it. Yes, basically British domestic noir. And also, yes, some American. I like American domestic noir as well. I like Ashley O'Drain. I like Shari Le Pen. Yeah. So yeah, I like reading psychological thrillers.